Hi, my name is Morgan Hayes, and I am recording my strategic plan on August 11th, 2022. And so, my plan is genuinely mentoring the inner city softball team. So, I personally coach an inner city softball team in the state where I live, and I love to do it. But I really just my passion is to better understand and learn how to build better relationships with the girls. They're middle school girls. And so it's very important for me to learn how to effectively communicate with them and how to understand how to work with them in order to bring forth interpersonal communication skills. I want them to learn how to build their character and not just play the game. I don't want it to just be about the sport. I want it to be about learning responsibility and skills and character building. And so, based off of my passion and my heart for wanting to see that happen for them, walking forward in that, I specifically want to learn how to better do that, how to speak into their lives, how to be able to communicate with them, how to be able to just do life with them and understand them better. And so that is what my strategic plan is going to be about. So, my key points are seeing softball as more than a game, developing strategies to incorporate lessons into the skill training, developing more knowledge about each girl, working on verbal and nonverbal tendencies, and practicing futuristic skills. So, my personal behavioral blend is that this is me, is I'm inspiring and submissive to those I trust. So whenever I really trust somebody, I am completely all theirs. I'm not worried about the details of the matter. I'm strictly just worried about them and about just getting to know them better. The expected of me is people expect me to be the energy. I'm both submissive and inspiring. I again am more caught up in people than I am the detail. And so the barriers, positive and negative, that end up coming out of this is I am a people pleaser is the negative side. And so all my life I was raised that you go to church and you act this certain way and you do for people and you help them and you serve them. And while those are absolutely true, personally within this realm, that has created a lot of perfectionism in me, a lot of people pleasing, and it exhausts me, quite honestly. And so, based off of that, that's the way that it's negatively impacted me. But then, obviously, who doesn't like to be called inspiring? And so, I would say that it's positively impacted me because it's shown me where my identity lies, which is in Christ. And to be able to serve and love people is such a beautiful quality to hold. I've learned a lot about myself, that I'm a very emotional person and that God created me that way and that I need to step into that more. And so being inspiring, being people oriented, that's what this is all about. And so even within the realm of discussing softball and mentoring these girls, I have to be very careful to not just tell them what they want to hear or just act a specific way because I want to manipulate them into being this other person. I have to truly rely on self-efficacy and rely on the fact that they are their own people with their own decisions and choices, but also in the next breath to be able to love on them and sit with them and be with them in these spaces. So, communication barriers, a lot of times I don't necessarily listen to the person. I will sit there and nod my head, but in the meantime, I'm sitting there just thinking, okay, yeah, what am I going to say next? How am I going to advise them next? And so I got that from Schultz 2015 and Peterson 2015, their books. The Why Don't We Listen Better from Peterson, and then An Essential Guide for Interpersonal Communication from Schultz. And that was just like just a moment of truth for me to say, okay, that's hurtful whenever I don't listen to people in that way. And Also, I'm a people pleaser. I expect too much from people. Um, Therefore, or people expect much from me. Therefore, I expect more from them because I hold myself to that standard. And so then, therefore, I hold them to that standard. And then a lot of times I don't believe in my own skill set. I like to take pride in the fact that I'm a very confident person. But a lot of times, whenever I have those skills, I'm not necessarily able to fully commit to what I have. And I have to remind myself, this is what you have to offer, this is how you're valuable. And so, the way that that can hinder relationships and hinder these relationships with these girls are, I I mean, it's selfish to not listen, and so I need to be willing to listen to them whenever they're speaking and to be able to sit with them where they are. Because even in Williamson 2020, with the relationships and mentors with girls who have maternal issues, difficulties, I mean, that is exactly what that is talking about. That, these girls have these difficulties and they need mentors to be able to build rapport with them and to be able to listen to them and sit with them. And so that would be great for me to be able to take on. And then when I set unrealistic expectations on them, then that's not fair to them, and everyone just ends up hurt in the end and expecting too much. And then when I'm not confident in my abilities, when I'm not confident in my skills, then therefore I'm not setting a good precedent for the girls. So the goal to implement this plan would be to become a genuine mentor with coaching softball, caring about each girl individually to teach them more about the sport. So ultimately, I just want to teach them more about the sport. I want to teach them more about character building and more about themselves. And so my goal would be to be doing that authentically and genuinely, and not just doing it because it makes me feel better, but because everybody is benefiting. So strategies to reach this goal are: I will be researching practice methods to gain softball and character building skills, learning each girl's name and being a listening ear for them, doing my own homework and have structured and scheduled practices for consistency, and practice speaking to the girls in a respectful and honoring way, recognizing my own actions on and off the field to be a role model. So within this realm, with researching practice methods, I think that it would be great to take an action step moving forward to be able to say, okay, this is the specific practice that we have, this is what we're doing, and that way that'll teach them responsibilities. One idea that I had is split them off into groups and have them do their own thing. This will really help them to be able to say, okay, I'm having this responsibility and I'm also learning something new. Learn each girl's name. I mean, that is so personable. I always feel so cared for and loved whenever somebody knows me by name. Doing my own homework about scheduling practices and having consistency. That one speaks for itself. Practice speaking to the girls in a respectful and honoring way. Whatever I do, the role model that and the model that I set within character building, that's going to be just life-changing for them, because whenever I'm able to put those things into action and show them those specific things, then in turn, then they're able to see how I reacted and how my actions are. So yeah, just again, I think that it would be important seeing the softball as more than a game and teaching them those disciplines, developing strategies to incorporate lessons into skill training, developing more knowledge about each girl, working on verbal and nonverbal tendencies, and practicing futuristic skills. So just in conclusion, mentoring is not an easy space to step into, but through diligence in gaining verbal and nonverbal communication skills, as well as developing character building and skill sets, a difference can be made in young girls' lives. So I believe that that difference can be made in their lives if I'm willing to do the work and to communicate and to love them well and to speak into their lives and to sit with them right exactly where they are. So that's my vision, that's my goal, that's my strategy and my plan, and I definitely want to be able to incorporate that and make that happen within their lives each day that we go to practice. So yeah, thank you.